We're live, even though we already are. Welcome to the Weekly Poll, our weekly streamed podcast in which we talk about all the nitty-gritty, awesome pop culture awesomeness and juicy, slimy. It's squirting all over your face. We're squirting pop culture goodiness on you. It's squirting all of you watching right now. You just got squirted on by Rob's pop culture goodness.
That's vivid. That's very vivid.
You've all been squirted on by the Weekly Poll. Welcome to the Weekly Poll. We do this every Tuesday at about 6 p.m. Eastern. We talk about your favorite pop culture goodness, which this week happens to be comic books. I'm Benny the Comicstorian. That is Sal from Comic Pop. That is Rob from Rob Plays. And that is Joel from Capes Joel. I know, Rob, you want to promote Rob's Plays. You all know he's from Comics Explained, but did you know he's from Rob Plays? The best place to watch Rob in 4K video game goodness and a lot of stupidity as he streams things online with me and my wife over here on the channel on the days that we're not doing the podcast. Wow, this is a lot of plugging. Just join us all the time, whatever.
Also, I play video games where I have gay sex.
It's true. People get spanked.
I play video games where I spank a man's backside until he dies.
He does.
It sounds like wholesome.
Literally just go to the channel Rob Plays and look for the video Rob Tries Gay Sex.
I literally spank a man's butt until he dies.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and move through our usual administration, like goody, whatever. All right, so first up, this is on Twitch, and if you want to support the podcast, don't forget, we really do appreciate all subscriptions. All subscriptions that are coming in for the month of July onward until we announce what the charity is and what we're doing are going to a charity. For us, the benefit is getting emoticons unlocked. For you, you get the benefit of getting subscriber-only giveaways, such as giving away DC books today, and you get the benefit of helping out with the charity. I can't go into what it is yet, but there will be official announcement videos and stuff like that. And if we hit our charity goal, we're all going to be dyeing portions of our hair that is on our head. I have to word it like that because we're all going to dye the top of our heads, except for Sally's doing his goatee.
I really want to see Sal with a dyed goatee.
Right? Way better than actually having me ruin my hair.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's going to be happening with that, guys. Also, what's the other stuff I have to go through? I'll think about it, and I'll just randomly jump in the middle of our conversations and talk about it. So today we're going to be talking about all the all-new Marvel Now stuff, and I'll be explaining what that is when we get to it. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the Wally West costume that DC just tweeted.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks better than Barry's. Why does this keep happening? Arsenal's looked better than Green Arrows, too. Why in the CW universe the sidekick looks better than the main hero?
Hashtag better than Barry.
Better than Barry.
I mean, I pulled it up to take a look at it, man. Like that's Kid Flash.
It literally looks like the new Kid Flash. Which I'm okay. So we all joked that they were keeping in the Black Wally West because they didn't want to break down and get rid of him. I have a feeling that they left him in simply because of the show.
Yeah,
They're
possibly.
like,
if that's
we already hired an actor. We can't just turn the actor white. That's whitewashing. We'll get so much hate for that.
Oh, dude, could you imagine? If like at the end of Flashpoint, like in the first however many episodes of the new season, they literally like get rid of the Black Wally West, replace him with a white guy,
especially like in the current
guy.
climate.
No one would understand that. They'd freak out.
They would get very angry.
I mean, if you thought that they freaked out over the Captain Hydra thing, even though there was literally like 4 months building up to what happened. They're gonna freak the hell out if DC just out of the blue.
Oh God, yes,
dude. That's what I'm saying, man. Like in the current climate of the show, like, dude, everybody loves, like, everyone that I've talked to loves Wally West.
Yeah,
the one in the show, and I love his character too. Like they spent so much time developing him. Yeah, they developed him so well, I think, and I love his character.
They arguably developed him better than the comics developed his character, because in the comics he started out as a jerk. Is still kind of a jerk, and now it's like, okay, but I'm kind of learning to deal with you as a jerk because I know you're not the Wally I grew up with. That Wally still exists out here, so I'm kind of meeting you for the first time.
Well, I think that DC and Warner Brothers also took some of the feedback they got from the comic book version, and they looked at the TV show and said, well, the TV show is going to be a little more on the nose because it's in your face, right. And we can't quite, we got to look at things a different way. It's the best way I know how to put it. But the way they did it is great. I'd be really sad if they got rid of this new Wally West. So I'm glad that he's finally getting the Flash's powers, which I knew that was going to happen. As soon as him and Jesse Quick were hit with that blast of
it was almost a thing of like who was going to get powers first was the thing where it's like, is it going to be Kid Flash first, or are we going to see Jesse Quick first?
I still think technically it's Jesse Quick. I have a feeling that she's going to activate first.
Right.
That would make sense. Yeah. Man, I'd be curious. Like, see, that's why I'm so excited for the next season, because I want to see how that unfolds, man. I really want to see how.
I just want to see them do Flashpoint, and like at the end of it, they're like, oh, by the way, Supergirl's here now.
Oh, that's exactly what's going to happen. Supergirl's fly right by.
Which, in that case, genius writing to work that all in an event type thing, much like how they do in the comics.
Well, that's why I say. I mean, that's to me. That's why, like looking back, I think that's why they put the Flash on that month-long hiatus, because they were like, oh, wait a minute, like Supergirl's coming to see. Like, we got to find a way to make this ending. Like, we got to adjust the ending. And I mean, if there were reshoots, they probably would have announced. I don't really know, but. I think some behind-the-scenes work was done in order to adjust, future plans or the last few moments of the show or whatever they were going to do in order to cater to Supergirl coming over to the CW. If they don't do that, that'd be the most disappointing thing ever.
How nuts is it that the Flash hasn't made it to the big screen yet in his own movie, yet on TV they're already doing Flashpoint?
Dude, and that's the sad thing, man, is I love Grant Gustin as the Flash. Yeah. And I'm sure Ezra Miller will do fine, but I want to see Grant Gustin.
I still don't understand why they couldn't just incorporate it all into one universe. Like
that's the question I've been asking. That's the question I've been asking for so long.
I would understand it if we had a Trinity show or a Batman Superman show, so you didn't want like them crossing over storylines.
We're starting that. I think they're easing us into it by casting an actual Superman to be in the Supergirl show, which is technically part of the Flash universe and the Arrow universe anyway. So it's only kind of a matter of time before we get TV counterparts of all of our movie characters,
which will be crazy to think.
I mean, the fact that like they finally bit the bullet and actually cast a Superman and that they're gonna make him in the show is, I think, a good sign that they are gonna be like, no, there's no way we're ever gonna cross these things.
What a weird world we're gonna live in, where it's gonna be like, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck.
Not like the movie Superman, but that TV show Superman from the Supergirl show.
Yeah,
it's pretty choice. Like,
isn't that gonna be weird to people? Be like, TV Superman was my generation Superman. Yeah, Henry Cavill, whatever.
Yeah, well, that's going to be that's kind of the funny thing is because the whole Grant Gustin, Ezra Miller, dichotomy is the same as what we'll probably see with Suicide Squad. I mean, I know that like Ben Affleck was on the set of the movie, but I doubt he's actually going to be Batman. And so you're going to see Batman in the Suicide Squad movie. That's probably not going to be
they supposedly film scenes with him as Batman.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Until the movie comes out, we don't know.
For the most part.
It's a stuntman for the most part.
Yeah,
but him, you basically see from the trailers, he's going to arrest Harley Quinn and Joker at the beginning of the movie, and then that'll be his cameo piece.
Yeah. Which is fine, because I like that. It creates a more cohesive universe.
Now, here's a question. Because it's a Suicide Squad movie, it's going to be about like these 6 or 7 characters, and they're really all very distinct and very cool and interesting, blah, blah, blah. Would you feel cheated, or would you kind of think it was awesome if they have to infiltrate like Arkham Asylum or something, and then Batman shows up at the end?
Much like that animated. If they do it like the animated movie, then I think that'll be amazing. Because the animated
I would enjoy that. I mean, because because that's one thing that's been noticeably absent from like all of the Batman movies. Post Christopher Nolan. We're doing Christopher Nolan and post Christopher Nolan is Arkham Asylum.
I know.
I mean, even
it's such
when
a big focal point in the comics, and yet we get it almost known in the movies.
Well, see, when they actually asked about Christopher Nolan, or asked him about, what about the Joker character? Heath Ledger's Joker, and he's like, well, Heath Ledger, the Joker's the sole inmate at Arkham Asylum, something along those lines. Right. That I read, but that was the only mention of it in any form or fashion.
Really cool storyboard that they released after Dark Knight Rises came out, where they have like Bane releasing everybody from the prisons.
No.
And they had this one shot of him coming up to the Joker prison, or the Joker cell, and him like looking at it, and Joker smiles, and then he just goes. And then he just leaves.
Nope.
Not even once. Not even once.
Oh, no, you don't. You'll take this movie right away from me.
Even though I kind of took the movie away from myself at the end when you found out I was actually lying the whole time about all the cool stuff I supposedly did.
That henchman Bane, man.
Yeah, that still bugs me all this time later.
I was just watching. It was on TV the other day. I watched. I'm like, this is okay. I like the idea of a movie about a city under siege and martial law by an asshole in a mask. That said, Bane,
I still hold up Dark Knight Rises is half a good movie, but then after he gets his back broken, it's all downhill from there.
There's a lot of... Well, let's not talk about Batman.
Wowzaphone just subscribed for 2 months in a row. Thank you, Wowzaphone.
Wowzaphone! So anyway, this tangent went crazy. We're talking about Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the new Wally West costume looks amazing.
That's
It's a
how
great.
that started.
It's a great tribute to the Kid Flash that we all know, and
So good.
all that
Going to
good
be a
stuff,
great
so.
season. Can't wait to see what they do with Flashpoint. They're probably, like we said, that's going to be the back door to work in Supergirl and all the
I got
other
a
stuff.
feeling like it was intended to just be like a 2 or 3 episode thing, and now it's going to be that. But at the end, they're just going to be like, oh, by the way, National City's.
You think they're gonna make her like? I bet they make Supergirl what they did with Superman in the Flashpoint universe.
Ooh.
Which is all like emaciated and kept by the government.
That would be
That'd
cool.
be cool.
That would be cool. But,
And they're saying
or
they're
they
gonna
kill
shy
her.
away from-
Imagine
they don't
if
shy
he
away from
does
comic
that, but
book
instead of Flashpoint, like everyone's thinking, it's Infinite Crisis.
Mm.
And Barry,
Where they
and
kill her off?
Supergirl and Barry both end up dying, and then when he wakes up suddenly in like normal, like he's been revived somehow. Supergirl happens to be there.
Interesting.
And half
You mean
the
Crisis
season
on
is them
Infinite
trying
Earths?
to figure out what happened.
Yeah,
Now
They
here's
died
the
in
question
Crisis on
too.
Infinite Earth, Benny.
Because this is
Yeah,
supposed to be like a big
crisis.
event. Because this is supposed to be a big event that's going to encompass all the shows and kind of bring them closer together, and probably be a new show every week or every day of the week, you know, bring it all together in a big epic. How do we think they're going to write Arrow to hijack everything and be the coolest guy ever? Because
See,
they
that-
always do that. in this
He's gonna
season.
create the League.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I see that.
Well, see,
He'll
that
probably
was,
free Supergirl in my fan fiction decision. He'll be
And
the
then
one
we'll
who
have
frees everything like
crazy
the Lynch,
sex.
you know.
no. See, that's the great thing about Flashpoint. That's like with them doing this, with them doing the because I'm pretty sure they've confirmed like Flashpoint is a story that we're going to do.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about that is they can literally do whatever they want after. They can reboot everything. So like DC Rebirth, like I wouldn't be surprised if the new Green Arrow that we see, the new Oliver Queen, is the DC Rebirth Oliver Queen, and I wouldn't be surprised if the new the new Supergirl, she'll probably just kind of be the same. They'll fold her in. I would even be surprised with the kind of hints they've been dropping about like Hal Jordan and so on and so forth. If you see Hal Jordan or some
Wouldn't that
mention
be really
of it,
cool
and then-
if this is where we get Green Lantern.
Yeah,
I don't
he
think
just
they're
comes
going
in,
to.
hi guys.
Because they know if they finally introduce Green Lantern, like this, the fan uproar is going to be, even if the show tanks, we want a show. You know, like.
Speaking of which,
yeah.
if they do, if you're listening or anything like that, like, and you want to put a lantern in there, for the love of God, make it Jon Stewart.
Please.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of money? Because the only reason you wouldn't make it Jon Stewart is if you're afraid of money.
Because
Well,
like
I mean,
nobody
I don't-
wants, whatever.
I don't think they make it Hal Jordan because they've teased Ferris Air Force Space.
But also, let's keep in mind that this is Greg Berlanti working on this, the same man who ruined the Green Lantern movie, and never did I think I would be hoping Berlanti would take another crack at it. Look, you screwed up, Hal. Make it a different lantern. There's lots of lanterns. Guy Gardner would be fine with me. Have him be a jerk and have a bowl cut. That's fine.
That'd be kind of fun. They get a pain in the ass Green Lantern where they're like, oh, jeez, Green Lantern's here.
This guy again. Have him moon Arrow like he does Batman in the comics.
But I mean, in the New 52, Hal is a jackass.
It's
To
true.
the point where they
Yeah.
kick him out of the league, and then one of the weirdest moments in all of New 52 after kicking Hal Jordan out of the league, and then him vanishing for like 3 years. No one even questions where did he go
No.
until like the world is ending, and they're like, "Where's Hal?"
That's how little impact he had on Earth in their day-to-day lives.
That is the moment that they make Arrow cool. They introduce Guy Gardner, and then they make Arrow do the one-punch knockout.
Oh.
That's International.
Okay,
Right.
so anyway, let's move on to another topic, because once again, from Wally West, we've now gone into how is Arrow going to be cool again. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even watch the second half of the latest season. I
didn't watch any of the latest season. I think I watched the first episode and that was it.
I
was
watched
nope,
the half
done.
of
The
season
Damien
1
Dark
and then
thing
never
just,
watched
I could
again.
not get on board with.
Yeah. No, because it was
Damien
boring. It was
Dark.
boring to me. I mean, it was like the Flash is just so much. It's so
What a-
much fun,
it is.
peppier, so much.
It
better.
is. It eats Arrow's lunch, and it totally eats Legends of Tomorrow's lunch. I love we never mentioned
we
Legends
didn't even
of Tomorrow
talk about
1.
No, dude.
I watched the
Legends,
whole season. I'm
no.
like, it's going to get good any minute now. And there were moments where it was close, but it never got there.
No, Legends just got swept under the rug. Is all that happened with that.
It's going
That's
to
all-
be
that's
good
all
any
that-
minute. Next season, they're going to have Vixen and Jonah Hex and John Constantine's going to join the team, and it's going to be good next season. I just know it. I just know it.
Like this time, yeah, it's like this time things will be different. Like he said, he stopped shrinking. This time it'll be different.
Yeah, that's what Legends of Tomorrow is.
If Legends of Tomorrow were on Fox, it would have been canceled after 3 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
After
would
being
have.
played out of order.
Yes.
they would have played the last episode of Legends. Well, it had more action in it.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of which, by the way, just kind of a quick aside, I've heard through the grapevine that people were in here were typing JSA, and I was Googling the other day what the story is that Hickman's supposed to be writing for DC.
Oh yeah.
And somebody posted a they had a subreddit where somebody had asked that question, and people were like, "Well, Hickman's well known for messing around with people.
He's a troll.
So he might not be doing anything, which would be one of the most disappointing things I've ever heard."
Yeah, be one of the greatest trolls of all time. I was
Did you see his recent troll where he was like, he posted like files that he threw away from his since he's not working for Marvel anymore. He's like, I'm not going to do these, and it was Shield number 11 and 12 and some other things. It was just like, shut up, Hickman.
Wait. Wow. I'm gonna look for that tweet. He tweeted that.
Yeah, the decline and fall of the Shi'ar Empire, the Skrull Empire, the Kree Empire.
Oh my God, I would have read those stories.
Happened, right?
No.
Oh yeah, here it is. Okay.
Shi'ar will be coming back though when we talk about new
with
titles.
dead Marvel projects. So much money left on the table. Armageddon Doom, Bobby and Sam the Golden Years, Farm to Table with Maker, Lockjaw and Black Bolt don't need a letterer. Shield 11 and 12, the decline and fall of the Kree Empire, Shi'ar Empire, Skrull Empire, decline and fall of work for hire contractors, the Hulk frees Tibet.
Ooh, I'd read that.
Actually aren't millennials. The Purge, the Punisher.
Wow, that was salty. That millennial X-Men one.
Wow. No, I mean, I would read the Shi'ar Skrull and Kree stories.
Shi'ar coming back when we talk about new titles. There's been some development with the Shi'ar, actually.
Yeah, of course they're coming back. Why wouldn't they?
Don't sound excited all at
for
once.
All new Marvel Now era? Rank 1, no, my God, is Doom. 66% of people voted that. 2, maybe I'll see before I decide. 23, and then yes is 9% excited.
Should we just hop into this then? Because that's the big news piece.
Yeah. That's probably not a bad idea, because I feel like ranting about Marvel now.
Okay,
Marvel
so for those who don't know, late last night, Bleeding Cool leaked all of the new Marvel Now post-Civil War II titles. No doubt this was meant to be the centerpiece of Marvel's San Diego Comic-Con announcement. Now they don't get to do it because all the titles are out. We're getting a bunch of new number ones. Other books are continuing. Some books like Astonishing Ant-Man have kind of disappeared, which worries me because I really liked that one, and I don't want to see it go away.
Yeah, now they don't have to go.
All right, well, so I'll give you the link one more time in the chat, guys, so you can follow along, but let's go ahead and start at the top. So, number 1 of the new titles coming out, Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, number 1. They couldn't even name it something new.
No, they couldn't. But because the other one sold so good. Now, the thing about this is that this isn't Slott, this isn't Gage. This is Jerry Conway, and they've made a solid point of saying this is a revisiting of the Secret Wars universe that we saw. So it looks like they're going Spider-Gwen now with a married Peter Parker. You can have it. It exists, but it's in another
over there. Universe. Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool, I guess.
Yeah,
it's not a bad compromise.
I'm on board with what Dan Slott's been doing. Honestly, I like the new takes on Spider-Man. So okay, I didn't say that it's all good. Like that Region thing just made no sense. And the Zodiacs and Mr. Negative. Are you just literally pulling out of your sock drawer what you forgot?
Those were weak. Those were weak stories. The last Regent one was good, even if it was more of an Avenger story.
Right, but I will say I am enjoying him trying new things with Spider-Man as opposed to just being like, I can't afford it. Let me take pictures and marry Mary Jane and all that stuff.
He hasn't been able to afford. He hasn't had that problem for over 10 years.
Sounds like I will not budge on.
Still salty about Renew Your Vows. So
it's whatever.
Okay.
You know
Avengers
you're going to
1 and Avengers 1.0. Who knows who the
1.1 looks really good.
Yep, that's going to be.
Are both those covers out?
Yes, they are. Avengers 1.1 is going to be an old-timey Avengers take. They're in their old costumes. Avengers number 1, again, this is Mark Waid. Brand new team. Hercules is on it. We still got Sam Wilson, Jane Foster, Vision. And I have no idea who that guy down in the left corner is. Sal and I were trying to figure this out last night, who the hell that guy is. It looks like Prowler, but maybe not.
That's Prowler.
Is it? But the colors are wrong. It's green and gold, not purple and green.
Yeah, but the Prowler had a lot of different colors over his years.
Has he?
I don't know. I have no clue who that is.
I don't know. I'm just making
it looks like a cross between Iron Man and Prowler. It's weird.
Yeah.
Is that Mosaic? Maybe
there's the new Wasp in there, and Hercules is finally getting back into something.
Yep, that's Nadia Pym, the unstoppable Wasp, who is also getting a book.
I don't know why Anyway, okay, so next on the list is Black Panther number 7. That's just going to continue what's going on.
Yep, just keeps going.
But
Black
it looks
Panther
like he's
has
back with Storm based on this cover.
And he's recruited Misty Knight and Luke Cage to come to Wakanda and help him out. What with the whole Civil War thing that's happening there?
Okay. Is it just like Black Panther? There's like all the black members of the Marvel community, please join me in Wakanda. You're all welcome.
Yeah, the whole thing about this.
If you remember in Civil War there, or I think it was it was Sam Wilson Sam Wilson Captain America. They said all the black heroes of the Marvel universe know each other, are part of an exclusive.
I remember, they're all part of an exclusive club.
Yeah.
Rob, can you verify if that's the thing?
I can verify that it's racist.
Now, we joked last week, but notice Night Thrasher's not a member of that team. Then if you read Kingpin this week, Spectrum and Sam Wilson Captain America went to go hassle Kingpin, and Night Thrasher was with them. Like, so Night Thrasher still needs to earn his way into the special club, is the thing. He's a prospective member.
That's right.
All right, so next we have Black Widow number 7. That's continuing the, in my opinion, amazing run that's going on right now. But I think Mark Waid's not writing it right now, is he?
No, he is.
Is he? Okay.
Well, he's co-writing it with Samney.
Okay, so they're just continuing onward with that. Okay.
I hope so, yeah.
And then we're getting an oddball one, Bullseye.
Yeah. No cover to go along with this, so we don't know if this is... What, is it a new cover? Did you get that?
There's a cover on the list I'm looking at.
Seriously? For real?
No, I'm messing with you, Joel.
Is it old Bullseye or is it Lady Bullseye?
It's old Bullseye. He's on a playing card, and the card's on fire.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all for it. They're going to have to explain how...
If you're reading the wrong list, here's the list I got.
Okay, they're going to have to explain how he came back then, because the last time we saw him...
Didn't he die?
He was all beaten up by Daredevil, and then I think Elektra killed him in her book before that was all said and done.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Bullseye. Cage number 1 is next.
That's the Gendy Tartakovsky.
I can tell you right now, that art, I just was like, ah!
That's Dexter's Lab art. It's because it's Gendy Tartakovsky. He'd been working on this one for years, and they're finally coming out with this mini-series now to tie in with Luke Cage's own show, which will be coming out at the end of September, so get ready for that.
Yep.
It's stylized. I love Dexter Samurai Jack, man.
I think the list I have has all of the books on it. Okay, so I just linked it to the chat, too, if you guys are missing it. So next up is, there's going to be Captain America Sam Wilson continuing. I'm not going to lie. I'm happy that he's doing it. That they kept him around. Like, he didn't just get disposed of.
Yeah, I like that, too.
They're doing that with all the
heroes. Why is he not in the Black People Club in Wakanda, Rob? What's the deal?
Well, because he's... I don't know. He spent too much time hanging out with a white guy. I don't know the answer to that.
Now, the cover here is hashtag Take Back the Shield, and as we can see here and in a bunch of the other books, Captain America, Steve Rogers, is going to get revealed to be a Hydra sympathizer, and this is going to have ripple effects throughout all the books. So he's at odds with Sam, and we'll be seeing that more when we look at other Avengers books.
Speaking of that, the next one on the list, Captain America Steve Rogers, shows him on the cover with a Hydra symbol in his eye, and they even say Hail Hydra at the bottom.
Yep.
So,
they're leaning right into it.
That at least tells us that this arc is going until October, at least.
Yep.
Which, for the record, just blows in the face of what Marvel is claiming. Marvel now is the new status quo. We're going to change everything around, but we're going to keep all the stuff that we want to keep.
We're going to change a couple things. We're going to change the books that weren't selling, but everything that has solid numbers, we're going to keep going.
Dude, and okay, how many times? You know what? Yeah, how many times can Marvel claim a new status quo and a goddamn reboot and just be like,
they're the boys that cry.
Whatever. We're still the same crap we've been doing. You need to deal with it. Like, why even do a new number 1 if we're just going to keep going? What is this? Like, at least DC was like, DC is like, oh, Rebirth isn't a reboot. It is a merging of the timelines. At least they just had the balls to be like, that is what is happening. It's a new status quo. We're going to change things up, but it's not a reboot. Marvel's like, no, it's all rebooting. Here's the thing. Not.
It's a major fundamental difference in between what the two publishing houses are doing. DC's Rebirth isn't really so much a rebirth of the universe as much as it's a rebirth of the company itself. Yeah. DC was changing the way they do business, and it's the way they reapproach their universe. Marvel has no plan or desire to change the way they do business. So when they relaunch, reboot, do whatever, they're not going to it's all going to seem very familiar and very kind of samey and obnoxious because they're not going to change the way they do business, and they're not going to change the way they approach their universe. They're going to do the same shit they've been doing and doing and doing. Like,
here's the problem with that. That's how you piss people off. Like,
well, guess what?
Hey guys, like all new, all different Marvel. And it's none of that. It's not all new, and it's not like there's virtually nothing all new, and there's nothing all different. Like the Ultimate Avengers.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Avengers, it's a really cool story, and it's really awesome. I love that because we've never seen anything like that before. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we did. We saw that shit during Hickman's Time Runs Out when friggin' Robert DaCosta was like, hey, you, like Thor and Hyperion, and you guys go into space and just find out what the hell's going on with the Beyonders and shit. We've seen that before. All they did is they turned around and they took the name of the Ultimates, which was recognizable.
Yep.
Because it was literally the Ultimate Avenger. It was the Avengers from the Ultimate Universe. And they threw it into the title. And they said, hey, guys, come check this out. Now, that works because the story's good. But the problem is everything's still the same. Why call it like... The problem with all new, all different Marvel, and the problem with Marvel now, is it's not... With Marvel Now, the great thing about the original Marvel Now is that it changed things up. Carol Danvers became the new Captain Marvel for the first time. She was basically that character, but she actually adopted the name. There were some small changes that were made to individuals as time went by. Hawkeye's character changed almost entirely. There were great concepts that were spilled in there. And then Marvel says, okay, we're canceling everything. We're doing all new, all different Marvel. Okay, in my mind, and it makes sense because I'm not an unreasonable human being, in my mind, all new and all different means not the shit that I saw before. So let's see what happens when all new, all different Marvel comes out. Oh, hey, if you want to know what's going on, just read everything from like Marvel Now Part 1 and then Marvel Now Part 2 in 2012 and 2014 so that you know what's going on. That's not all new or all different. Not only that, you've got Bendis that basically goes back and he blows off the entirety of everything from Iron Man up to Mike Grell's run. And then he turns like he's introducing Riri Williams, which is really, really cool. And I'm excited about that because she's a new Iron Man. But you know what's going to happen to her? She's going to be the new James Rhodes. You know how I know that? Because Bendis killed off James Rhodes. And he's going to replace James Rhodes with the character that he made. And she's going to be the new James Rhodes going forward. That's the problem with Marvel, man. The problem with Marvel Comics is
Iron Man's not even leaving. Tony Stark is still there. Everyone's like, new Iron Man. Is like, no, it's Iron Man.
The issue with Marvel Comics is they're trying to make something new by keeping the shit they've had for the last 60 years. People love comics. People love new generation of comics because it's their new shit.
Yeah.
The people wanted to see all new, all different Marvel so that a new generation of readers could have their own characters to look up to. I wanted all new, different Marvel because I'm tired of seeing Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
They're kind of doing that with the Champions, aren't they? That was the whole thing of, launching new, younger heroes and now giving them a book to congregate in.
But at the end of the day, it's still all the same
Don't
thing.
spoil the list.
We talked about Champions last week. That's one of the few that didn't get leaked.
That's one of the problems that I have is there's nothing new with Marvel, and Marvel Now is basically all new, all different Marvel all over again. Hey guys,
Marvel Now is Marvel going, hey, all new, all different Marvel sold amazing. Oh my God, DC Rebirth is kicking our ass. Relaunch.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. This is a gut reaction to DC Rebirth kicking their ass on the month it came out. That's what it is.
That's exactly what that shit is.
I have no idea if Rebirth is going to maintain. As kicking their ass. I know it did on the month it launched. The top 10 was all DC books, and this was literally Marvel's gut reaction going, number one sell, right? We gotta do number one. DC did number one.
There's no way that Marvel Now, like that all these books are a reaction to Rebirth, because it takes a while to make these things.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It took 4 months. It took 4 months to make Civil War. 4 months to make Civil War 2.
Yeah,
they planned that shit out in 4 months. You're telling me they're not going to plan out the entirety of a brand relaunch in less than that?
Yeah,
no way.
They announced this back in May, which gives you May, June, July, August, September, October. 6 months to get these books out.
Yeah.
And we're now getting a leak, which means they had 2 months to plan the next issues for them. And you can tell by these numbering systems that the ones that are selling are staying. Like the ones that they like the Hydra storyline and stuff like that, they're staying.
Yeah.
They're kind of treating it like seasons of TV shows right now, where it's like, look, it's episode 1 of season 3 of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You had to have watched what came before, but you can jump on here if you really want to. It's a new season.
See, here's the problem, man. Is I know that Marvel has a fear of, if we drop Spider-Man, people aren't going to go see Civil War. It's Spider-Man, all right. DC could cancel Superman, and the world will still know who he is. It's not like the world's knowledge of Superman is tied to his existence in the comic books. It's not like if they get rid of Superman from comics, he'll just fade from oblivion
when
forever.
You're a pop culture icon, they can't take that away.
He's the first superhero. Batman beat up Superman in The Dark Knight Returns, and that's why he's going to be famous forever. Like, Spider-Man literally made it cool to be a teenager and a super. He's an icon in the comic book industry. Like the trinity of comic book characters.
The template
Batman,
for
Superman,
which all these
Spider-Man.
young heroes are now following.
Yeah, you don't. It's not like it would. I mean, I get that they want to tie into the movie, but it's Spider-Man, for God's sake. I mean, a Spider-Man movie is coming out, and if they announced that with all new, all different Marvel, Peter Parker wasn't going to be Spider-Man, people are still going to go see that Spider-Man movie.
They did that already.
Spider-Man.
They did that with Superior Spider-Man when it wasn't Peter Parker, and then by the time, but he was back in the suit by the time the
movie came out.
Yeah, like, but we knew. Okay, we knew it wasn't going to be permanent. Nobody read Superior Spider-Man and believed that Dr. Octopus was going to keep Peter's body forever.
I did, but no one
knows
knows
what now we're just talking about. Like, just hold on a second. I just want to clarify one thing in case anyone from Marvel is actually watching. For the record, we do enjoy Marvel comics. We do enjoy the characters in there. But what we're getting tired of are these reboots and getting attached to storylines and characters, cycle. And then them being thrown out the goddamn window. Marvel now, the original time, I loved it, followed it. Some great storylines came out of that.
Got me back
like
in.
Superior Iron Man and Hulk finally working with Bruce Banner, and they're out the window. And now you're telling me we're going to reboot everything again. But let's
you know what
go ahead, Rob.
They're not rebooting it. It's just that like they're shaking up the status quo tree again. And for some characters like Champions, that's fine. The other, like, a lot of these titles are just like like these are just story arcs. These are just things that are happening in the larger scope of the Marvel universe. They don't need, like, the only thing that really is shaking up everybody, that's making everybody so like freaking out, like that's making everybody freak out, is the fact that they're calling it a thing. Yeah. If it was just like the next thing in Deadpool, the next thing in Deadpool is this.
An event.
Well, it's not even an event because none of these all these books are not, like, none of these books are connected or related to each other. So like they're all the new status quos for these characters, but that's just how comics are, and that's how they've always been, and that's how they're going. If it wasn't called Marvel Now, or if it wasn't called anything specific, if it wasn't couched in a logo with a brand and them saying like we're doing a bold new publishing initiative, like, then nobody would be freaking out because it's just what comics have been doing forever.
Yeah, but the difference is they're advertising it as something that they're not. Case in point,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, case in point, like Spider-Man. You know what they should have done with Miles Morales? They should have brought in the Prowler. The Prowler is a stupid fucking character. They should never introduce. I don't know why Dan Slott did this. They should have never introduced the Prowler. They should have had friggin' Miles Morales play the role of Spider-Man while Peter Parker's dealing with his normal stuff. I don't care whether or not Miles Morales has his own comic book. I care that Miles Morales gets some damn respect as a Spider-Man character in the comic books. And the problem is he's been relegated to the background, with the exception of, like, in the Ultimate Universe, and on a line of comics,
Avenger, he's going to be on the Champions now. He was a focal point of the last Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's not Spider-Man. Like, that's the problem. At the end of the day,
his book's the only one that's called Spider-Man.
No. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. As long as Peter Parker is in the forefront, Miles will always be in the background. Kick Peter out. Have him gone. Make Miles Morales the only Spider-Man. Like, eliminate Peter Parker from the landscape of Marvel Comics and make Miles Morales a Spider-Man. You want to know why? Because it's time for a new Spider-Man. That's why. We've had, give me a story for Spider-Man that you can tell that hasn't been told before. Give me one Spider-Man story that you can tell that hasn't been told before. The death of his girlfriend, that's been done before. His body being taken away.
Wait, there's the time. What about the Deadpool wanted to be his best friend? Oh, we just did that.
But that's nothing new. Like, they've always had that on again, off again thing. Now, give me one change to Peter Parker's life.
No. I mean, you're right. That's the problem with comics is going to keep repeating the same exact thing. And the biggest issue I have with Marvel now is actually our next title on the list, so I can get us back on track here.
Yes,
Captain Marvel #1. Why do heroes that you are continuing with the storyline need fresh #1s, but some of them aren't getting fresh #1s?
Right.
Because
that's my complaint.
Yeah, why does Black Widow not get a reboot, but Captain Marvel does?
Exactly.
Because she's getting a movie. That's why.
Yeah, there's that.
Well, and for the record, the coming of Captain Marvel pretty much spoils the end of Civil War II.
Yeah, I know, right? This is also the third relaunch Captain Marvel has had now in a row, and this is going to be written by the Beautiful Creatures writer, so they got a young adult novelist. to write Captain Marvel, which makes me worried.
They are not renumbering Captain Marvel for the movie. That movie won't come out for another 2 years. They will renumber it again for the movie.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I was gonna say agree with you on that one, Sam. Like, that's too far out for a renumbering.
Yeah, that is not why they're doing it. They're doing it because
is she like on volume 7 or something crazy now?
I don't know.
8, I think.
8? Yeah, she's like on a crazy high volume number. It's like
Yeah,
they just keep
nuts.
trying.
The idea with the cover is that, Carol Danvers has finally achieved what she's dreamt of for a long time. She's the most well-known hero in the Marvel Universe. Unfortunately, it's not for all good things that she did. Half are calling her a savior, half are calling her a tyrant.
Again, because she won whatever happens at the end of Civil War.
Yeah. Which is explained why there seems to be no Tony around except for Hollow Tony, so we can pretty much assume Tony either died or is somehow incapacitated at the end of
I'm assuming hiding. He's a wanted man and he's in hiding. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, anyway, volume 9, Fat Snorlax says.
Jeez.
All right, so next up on the list then, we'll rant more about this when we get to them, but let's at least get to the list, Rob, before we just like unhinge you and you just like Hulk out and you're like, whoa!
Rob smash, Rob rant.
Champions actually looks, from the cover, looks good and I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, we talked about this one last week. It's a cool idea. It's more Wade. I'm more interested that Cyclops is on this team. That he pretty much
is on it and Hulk is on it, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Who's the pink girl on the right?
That's Viv. That's Vision's
daughter.
What?
Yeah, from the Vision book. I like that they're
really,
actually throwing some more stuff that way.
Nuts.
Okay,
cool.
that leads us to the next one, which is not we don't have a cover for. Clone Conspiracy, which is the official name of Dead No More. It's another Clone Saga.
Yippee.
Spider-Man Clone Saga. Rob, don't you love that?
Yeah, by the way, name me a story about Spider-Man they can do that hasn't been done already.
I like clones.
I rest my
I'll read
case.
The clone story.
That leads us to Daredevil 15, another one not getting a reboot while other characters are.
Crisis of Faith. Apparently, Matt Murdock is going to have a crisis of faith. Maybe this is the rise of atheist Daredevil. Wouldn't that be something?
He's going to have a crisis of faith just like he did in the Frank Miller run.
I'm done with
he's also wearing his Shadowland costume.
No, he's been wearing that since the beginning. Yeah, that's his costume right now.
It's awful.
I actually like that one, sorry.
I think that was more to tie in with the black he was wearing in the first season of Daredevil, of all things.
Okay, that brings us to the next one on the list, which is Deadpool, which doesn't have a cover, so we can't run with it, but it's also not rebooting, so it's probably just going to be Deadpool still dealing with his fame. Hopefully we finally find out why he's famous, but whatever.
Yep.
Actually, I'll be honest. I don't think we ever will. I think that'll be the running gag. We'll never find out why Deadpool's famous.
You know what? I believe that with Deadpool. Like Thor, they'll eventually say something, and everyone's going to be disappointed. But Deadpool,
they're setting it up. It's his book is going to be the thing.
Yeah, that's going to be the one.
So that brings us to Deadpool and the Mercs with the Money, which so far has been really good, and it looks like now the team is a giant gorilla with a machine gun, Hit Monkey.
Massacre.
Domino. Looks like Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
It is.
How is she coming back to life? She's dead.
Don't ask questions, man.
Power of movement and
marketability.
That's out.
It's funny. Who's the guy in the right, though?
That's Machine Man.
Oh,
okay.
Sweet.
So once again, who's the guy in the right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the right.
I love the tagline: Mo Mercs, Mo Monkeys.
It's funny. I was actually not feeling the Mercs for money. I thought they worked fine in the main Deadpool book. This new lineup, I actually like. I want to read a book about these characters.
Well, I feel like the original was like, oh, we're just going to do a miniseries. And then, oh my God, it's popular. We don't really have a good lineup in this team.
And the reason they had to change the lineup of the team up, as we're going to find out later, is a bunch of the original Mercs for Money members are getting series of their own now that probably won't last more than 5 issues.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
That brings us to two that we don't have a cover for. The Death of X, which supposedly is the end of the X-Men again.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though.
Wait, haven't we had the end of the X-Men event every year now for like 10 years?
Pretty much. But the thing about Death of X is that it's actually a flashback. It's going to tell us how the older Scott Summers died in the 6 months between Secret Wars and now. And to really hype it up, they're suspending all other X-Men books. As you've noticed, there are no other X-Men books. It will only be Death of X until then.
Oh, yeah, because
that's
really
how
they're going to
man.
win back the X-Men fans. Let's cancel all the books.
Because, like during the whole Apocalypse Wars, they went to go find Apocalypse, and he's like, "You are in me," or some shit like that.
Why did you just make Apocalypse gay? Welcome to Apocalypse's butthole.
Dude, it was some stupid idea, man.
I didn't like the Apocalypse Wars.
Now, do you think this is Marvel testing the waters, being like, hey, if we get rid of all the X-Men books but one, will anybody care?
I honestly
I
do
don't
think
know.
that's the case. And honestly,
we-
if we want to talk about X-Men, we should get Comic Book Girl 19 on here because she'll rant for days about the X-Men.
Oh yeah.
That's true. Can I just say, you know, it's funny. Like, it'd be amazing if Marvel has been setting up the like shuffling loose of the entire X lineup for the last 2 years. But you'll notice that Marvel is co-producing an X-Men show with Fox.
I was gonna bring that up. That just
And
broke. Yeah.
if they fixed it, they have to undo it.
Yeah, I know, right?
They have to be like, oh, never mind. The X-Men are actually really important and super relevant. Whoops.
Turns out we found a cure for Terrigenesis poisoning, and now the Inhumans and X-Men are buddies now, and they're having picnics.
Literally.
Well,
one day,
no, wait a minute. Didn't that one chick invent a cure for mutant? She died. She's dead.
Oh.
Like, don't
Shut
worry
up.
about her.
Now, what
Don't
happens
worry
is, like,
about her.
when it happens, Riri will create some like synthetic thing. She'll shoot it into the cloud. It'll dissipate. The end. It'll be done in 2 seconds. Just like Shadowland was ended by Spider-Man in like 2
God.
pages.
For the record,
Boom.
guys, I love that I mentioned Comic Book Girl 19 and the chat's like, she's the worst. Or they're like, Comic Book Girl 19 versus Marvel. Like,
What are you talking about? Don't you guys love Game of Thrones? If you want to hear about Game of Thrones, watch Comic Book Girl 19.
she's got like a sweet deal with Marvel, so I don't know why she's always bad-mouthing them, but whatever.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, that's another discussion for another day. I've met her. She's actually really friendly, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I have
We
no
should,
personal anything against her. Everyone else can rant about her.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's cool.
she's welcome to come on the show. We'd love to have her next week.
I see what
Let
you
her
did
know.
there, Benny. I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right.
Rob, you're alienating half the comic book community. I can't be associated with you anymore.
Whatever, man.
Did you guys hear his rant against Eris from Variant?
No.
What?
Civil War.
Why
Benny
did
versus
rant
Rob.
against Eris? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
This
literally,
is Benny
I
trying
made
to
it-
plant seeds for the weekly poll Civil War.
Yeah.
You know, him
Yeah,
versus
that's
Rob.
Anyway, yeah, no. Side note, Comic Book Girl 19 is funny. And for you guys bad mouthing her in the chat, like one of the few things we got to talk about in the brief time, she's like, "Aren't the comments the worst? All they do is bad mouth me." And I love how I mention her name and you're bad mouthing her.
Way to prove her point, people who don't like her.
And then everyone's like, "Why doesn't she read the comments?" Because you do that.
Yeah.
Because a
So-
person can only drink so much poison
Yeah.
every day.
Dad boy, Comic Book Girl 19. Anyway,
Yep.
that brings us to Doctor Strange Sorcerers Supreme.
Supreme. Hey, Sal, is Tiff in the room? Is she excited that Doctor Strange is getting 2 books now?
No,
Yeah,
she
and
wants.
that
She
looks
likes
like
what they're
fun.
doing with the current Jason Aaron run. She doesn't want them to start like diluting the brand and changing things up.
Aw, that's fair.
But
I
she
can
looks
see
like
that.
she's really excited to see what Robbie Thompson has to offer. We're gonna see what happens.
Looks to be a time
mean-
travel book by the looks of it.
Yeah. I don't-
That looks like Dormammu, to be honest with you guys.
oh, it is. Yeah. No question.
Maybe they're just gonna
Which
bring
would
him
be
back
cool.
because like, oh, wasn't he in that video game that everyone played that we just never
They're-
did anything with? Right.
They're
yeah.
bringing Dormammu back in the main Doctor Strange book too. They're making it bloody reunion, and Baron Mordo's coming back. Dormammu's coming back. They're all coming back in time for the movie.
Well, that's really cool, 'cause it means we're gonna
Dormammu
see
back
some-
because he's gonna be I guarantee he's gonna probably be the stinger at the end, like the end credits
Of the movie, yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
So they want to
Yeah.
make sure that everybody knows who Dormammu is, even if
That's
he's
too good to be.
By the way,
yeah,
for those of you
like that.
guys who don't know, Dormammu is this guy from another dimension that could literally lay waste to the universe.
Yeah,
He's
but they always
basically
keep him
the
like tucked
devil.
away in another thing. So
Yeah.
it's just like Mephisto. Like if he really wanted to, could just destroy everything. But he just chills in
Yeah.
hell. He's just
Marvel
hanging
has
out.
like
Unless it's-
several devils, you see. That's back
Yeah.
when you couldn't actually write about Satan Beelzebub in comics, so you had to create a bunch of stand-ins.
God, I remember that shit.
Yep.
I remember
Alright.
reading about that.
And that brings us to what Joel was talking about, which is one of the original Mercs for Money, Fool Killer getting his own book. And I 100% agree. I don't see
What?
that going past
Yeah.
5
Good
issues.
luck with your 4 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fool
and
Killer
which,
for those
I
who-
gave
who
it 5,
don't know.
Sal.
Which fool killer is it? Is it the first one or the one that was in Mercs for Money? Probably
Well,
the one
this
in
is
Mercs for Money.
He's getting his own book.
The,
too.
the one who's going to become a psychiatrist. For those of you who don't know, Fool Killer is a very poor man's Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's
Guys,
like, he's
I
like,
call-
he's like the
They-
English
they put
Punisher.
Max Bemis
Didn't,
on it. What is Max Bemis
Didn't
from?
Ennis read a Fool Killer thing?
I think so. Like Fool Killer Max again. I think it was
Yeah.
only like 4 issues.
What is Max Bemis from? I recognize that name. And it's not a common, like, normal writer name, I don't think.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
As far as I understand, he's been
Writes for
able to
TV,
he's been
doesn't
able
he?
to like bend beams to the max.
Oh,
I don't know
you're
if that's true.
funny. You're funny.
But dumb.
No,
too.
it does sound familiar, but no, I don't. Doesn't ring a bell.
I will say of all the Mercs for Money solo books, his is probably the most interesting because he's a superhero murderous vigilante by day and like a psychiatrist by night because he's trying to get like his degree in psychology so he
I
can help
don't
people.
know if this is the same guy, but apparently
did you
the
look
one
up
that came up when
Wikipedia?
I looked up Max Bemis comics is the singer of a band called Say Anything.
mm-hmm.
Say something.
But, and while I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it's the singer, it's not the same guy. They also did get CM Punk to write a book, so
they did. He was
Yep,
writing
and they
Drax
have,
for a bit.
Yeah.
bringing Max. Yeah, no, it is him, the front man of the popular group.
I'll be damned.
Is that what Marvel's doing now? They're just like, oh, popular names. Can you want to write a comic? I hope you can do it.
That's what they did. That's what they did when they needed to fix themselves.
They've had some interesting celebrity runs. I mean, hey, one of the best things to come out of DC was Max Landis when they let him do one.
Yeah.
And Gerard Way is going to be Gerard. They didn't just give Gerard Way a comic; they gave him a whole imprint.
Dude, American Alien is one of the best Superman stories ever written, and that's just all there is to it. There's no two ways about it, dude. It's amazing.
Dude gets Superman. Dude gets Superman.
He did that awesome documentary about
moving on to the next one. I'm actually excited about this one because the art looks amazing. I don't know the writer, but I do. The art looks amazing.
Yeah.
Gomorrah is getting her own book.
Oh,
this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is all new and all different. This is, let's take a character that's only ever been part of a team or had minor roles, and let's give her her own story.
Yeah.
And,
Like,
they've been hyping her up so awesome in the Guardians of the Galaxy right now. I'm excited about this.
This is awesome. Gomorrah's always been a
Art
badass.
is amazing.
Yeah, and she's been known for two things. One, she banged Richard Rider, and two, she was involved with Thanos. And that's like, and the Guardians of the Universe, or Guardians of the Galaxy. But that's like it. You know, like I want to see some awesome development here. This is all new and all different. This is what I'm talking about.
So it's official now. Every member of the Guardians has gotten their own solo book now. At this point.
Basically. Yeah. Oh, they have, haven't they? Yeah, Rocket and Groot got a solo series, and
We had individuals and teams all over the place.
Yep.
Which brings us to Rob's favorite team in the entire world.
Yes.
The Great Lakes Avengers.
I don't know why they're bringing them back.
I can't believe this is a show.
I will give it this, though. I will give it this. First off, the team is actually unique. It's not just a carbon copy team. And it looks like Reed Richards is on it.
No,
but that's not Reed Richards.
That's not him.
That's that shitty guy that's super
holding man or whatever.
Everybody on that team sucks, guys.
I do like they're leaning into the joke where it's like Great Lakes Avengers. Who are they? We're the team that used to have Squirrel Girl on it before she became a AAA character.
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, that's
basically.
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if that whole series is nothing but them just following Squirrel Girl around and bugging her and being like, "Come on, come join us again, come on."
That would be funny.
Now that I would read.
And she's like, "No, I'm an actual Avenger now. Go away."
Which brings us to Guardians of the Galaxy 15, which I'm really loving the run right now. So I'm kind of happy that this isn't getting restarted again.
Yeah.
I know I bitch and complain because I want them all to be number ones, but if we're gonna have to pick some to stick around, I'm glad Guardians is on that docket to stick around.
Yeah.
I still would rather just everything starts over across the board, but if we have to pick some, I'm glad they're one of them. So anyway, because actually now that I realize that Amazing Spider-Man is not on here either. The one that we know. We'll talk about that in a minute. Hawkeye, which looks like it's starting
Kate
over,
Bishop.
but it's the same thing with Kate Bishop, and I'm assuming.
Well, it's Kate Bishop is the star now because Clint's going to be busy doing something else, and it's called West Coast Avenger. So she's going back to LA, out to the West Coast, and I guess she's going to be living the dream that they've kind of been saying in the main Hawkeye book, and that is, look, if she ever gets control of her parents' money, she will be the greatest Hawkeye of all time.
See, to me, this is something cool too. Like Kate Bishop was always a side-along character for Clint Barton. Now she's getting her own run. Like, this is cool. This is what I'm. This is the kind of thing that I dig.
She earned it. She deserves it.
Yeah, she's a great character.
Yeah.
Awesome character.
I'll read it.
Okay, so next up is Totally Awesome Hulk. We're literally 9 issues in, and I still don't know if I like Amadeus' show.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on with all new Totally Awesome. I
I've
don't
been
know.
reading every issue. We're 9 issues in, and I still read it like, I don't know if I like you. Why can't we get Bruce Banner back?
Yeah, that's one of the few new young hero books where I'm like, you know what? You didn't bat 100 on this one because I'm not sure. You're no Sam. You're no Kamala. You're not even
He's
Silk
got his
at
moments
this
that I'm happy with. But so far, those moments have been tied into previous Hulk-style things.
Yeah.
So basically, Bruce Banner.
My big problem, and I know I've said it endlessly, it's the step down in like importance and impact. You know, from all the stuff with Doc Green and time travel with Mark Waid to I'm just doing teenage stuff now. I'm like,
yeah. No, I'm all down for replacing.
1,000 other books I can get that from.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for replacing Bruce Banner as the Incredible Hulk, but I don't know what's going. Like Amadeus Cho's better when he's just like a guy that pops in for 2 issues, and it's just like, let's make life rough for somebody in particular, and then he goes away, and that's it. Like he's great in those small moments. I mean, I get why Greg Pak did it. Greg Pak wanted more Korean American representation in comics, which is cool to want that
totally
diversity.
Awesome.
The problem is it was fun for the first issue when he was cracking his jokes and he was like, hey, look what I can do, and he was hitting on chicks. But once it came down and it was like, okay, let's actually start getting a story forming, there was nothing there.
If they would just up his importance and give him like an actual Hulk level threat to fight against, I would probably like it more.
Well, and maybe that's it too. He's more just dealing with being the Hulk right now, as opposed to having like the biggest problem I have at the moment. I think like the more I think about it, the biggest problem I have with Totally Awesome is there's no the overall arc is I'm the Hulk and I need to deal with it. There's no villain, there's no bad guy, there's nothing he's working towards.
Well, but Hulk villains are all terrible.
There's no goals, what I'm saying.
Yeah,
His goal is
hell,
how do I cope with being the Hulk, which would have been great for like 4 or 5 issues. But
Nobody wants to read about that crap. I don't want to hear about a guy who's like, oh, well, I don't want to be the Hulk anymore. Like, I've read that for 100 years.
It's really telling. It's really telling that the best Hulk villain of the last, decade was Doc Green, and Doc Green was just yet another personality inside the Hulk's head.
Ugh,
yeah. No, see that's and see the weird thing too is I don't know if you guys probably, I mean, have you guys read the most recent Civil War yet?
Yeah,
Civil War, the most recent Civil, yeah. Like literally, Carol Danvers is like, Banner, we need to talk. Okay, well apparently Bruce Banner is going to Hulk out and kill everybody. Like how are we going to square that circle, Greg Pak?
Well, here's another thing about, and if you're reading Hulk plus Civil War, what they're doing is another one of those things where Marvel doesn't talk to each other to get the continuity right. Because Banner is currently hiding out with Amadeus Cho and them, and they're trying to resolve Amadeus' issue. But
no, he's in a lab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
he's totally available.
And he was just playing Minecraft for the record. He spent like a whole night trying to tame a.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
He was, dude.
Oh, was it? Okay,
he's sitting there sick, and Amadeus is like, "Can you help me?" And he's like,
"Yeah, that's right."
He's like, I just want to relax. I don't want to have any world threats right now," because Amadeus doesn't tell him. And he's like, "Well, what are you doing on your laptop?" He's like, "I'm playing Minecraft. I'm trying to find a jungle node." Yeah, he did it for 2 days trying to tame the cats.
Yeah.
Minecraft will help you relax. I will say that.
Yeah.
It's very zen.
This is a case of what we call in comics because Bendis.
Yep. Honey Bendis don't care.
And he didn't give a fuck what Greg Pak was doing.
Well, that's why we needed another Jim Shooter running the show as editor-in-chief.
Man,
crack down on that shit.
Fight words right there. We need Jim Shooter to run Marvel.
Dude, get Jim Shooter today. Jim Shooter now would do it.
Say what you want to about how Jim Shooter related to the writers and his strict editorial control, but he got shit done.
Yeah, he got shit done. Yeah, and he made and he made bank. He also
because he wouldn't let the writers do whatever they wanted to.
He also said no to the acquisition of DC Comics.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. But they got bought out by Disney, so it can't be that bad.
And then he founded Valiant. You're right.
He walked away from buying DC. That's right.
Buying DC Comics. I'm saying like that is. I'll give him a lot of credit, but like biggest bonehead decision ever.
All right. Well, enough about Jim Shooter. Let's move on to the next ones, which are the 2 Iron Man titles. The new one, Infamous Iron Man, shows him like an Iron Man face and Doom face. Now, they did team up once. But is this going to be Doom as Iron Man? Are we pulling a basic?
You're Iron Man again, but Doom.
You think so?
And even the Doom and Iron Man team up wasn't really so much of a team up as it was Doom like, take this and go find Madame Nat.
Being in the Iron Man book.
Well, he was also trying to prove that he's a good guy. He's like, I'm a good guy. Take me seriously.
I have a feeling if this is Doom being Iron Man, he's going to be trying to prove he's a good guy still, and it's basically going to be the Lex Luthor Superman situation.
It's Lex Luthor Superman.
Yeah.
And I'm down with that.
I'm fine with that as well.
Doom as Iron Man? I'm actually not hating that idea. Which then brings us to Invincible Iron Man, which has Riri on the cover and a hologram Tony Stark.
See, this is what I'm talking about, people. This is all new, all different stuff. Now, again, it's going to get screwed up, but this is all new, all different. For those of you guys who don't know, for those of you guys who aren't following the Iron Man title, in the beginning of Bendis' run, he said that somebody at MIT basically duplicated his Iron Man armors, and so we got back to work creating something new.
This is the girl that did it. With a box of scrap, she built an armor.
This is literally the chick who did it. And so that's why they're rolling her. That's why it's being rolled in. This could be fantastic. Now, again, I think all Bendis is going to do is turn Tony Stark back into Iron Man, make her James Rhodes. But until that happens, I think we're going to see some amazing.
Because that's when the change will happen. When's Avengers Part 1 and 2?
Yeah.
But until that time comes, I think we're going to see some damn good storytelling, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
Which is good because I think Ben just totally ran out of gas in the last Iron Man arc. He's like, and then the Avengers come and help him. I guess I'm bored now. What's next?
Civil War 2. All right. Well, Iron Man does
as often happens with Bendis these days. He'll give you 2 amazing arcs, and they'll be like, okay, bored now.
Yep.
I agree with people. Riri
Oh
should
my
have happened
God!
all new, all different Marvel. She should have happened with all new, all different
The
Marvel.
next title on the list. Iron Fist is getting Carrie Andrews back on it. They're continuing the storyline of the new prodigal student. It's yes!
I didn't like that, Ron. I like the idea of Danny training a new Iron Fist and getting to see him evolve and become a teacher, much like how Daredevil is in his, but I didn't like the Carrie Andrews stuff, though.
Whatever. Screw off.
I'm happy you're happy, Benny. I'm glad there's an audience for it, and I'm glad they're going back to a story that they started and finished. I will continue to read Power Man and Iron Fist. That's where I'll be at.
I'm tweeting him right now. I'm tweeting.
You're tweeting Danny Rand right now?
No, I'm tweeting Carrie
Does
Andrews.
Danny Rand have Twitter?
I know.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He owns Twitter.
He owns
He does.
Twitter?
He's rich. But yes, Carrie Andrews is a nice man. I'm glad to see him getting more work and getting to continue his story. And like Rob said, this is actually all new and all different. Danny Rand as a teacher, as a mentor, as a sensei.
I just saw you're back on
hopefully-
Iron Fist, and I'm so happy right now that I have to type in caps Carrie Andrews.
Now, here's a
hopefully,
question. Here's a question for Rob. What if this is the apology for All New, All Different, and it's basically like, no, this is the All New, All Different Marvel. We just screwed up, and we can't call it the same thing, so we're going back and calling it Marvel now.
I'd be fine, but what I don't want to be sold a bill of goods, and it turned out that it's something else.
Oh yeah,
that's what I don't want.
You mean
if
over
that's
and over again? Because
over and over again. Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that that's, but this is the first time in Marvel. All New, All Different Marvel was the first time in Marvel's history where they were like, everything is like for really reals this time. Everything's changing. Like, I know we've said it before, but this is like
I didn't
for
get the
really
impression
real.
that All New, All Different Marvel.
I got that. Everybody got the impression.
Yeah, no.
Did they really? That feels like
Sal, their multiverse was ending, man. It had been ending
Yes.
for 3 years.
no. When Secret Wars happened, but after Secret Wars, after Secret Wars was ruined by them launching All New, All Different before it ended, I was like, "There's no way that this is changing. Like, there's no way this is different."
I mean, to me, this wasn't Marvel now. It wasn't we're just going to shuffle a few names, characters around. Like, it was literally the collapse of the multiverse, and everybody was dying except for people. Like, everybody was dead except for people on Battleworld. And the way Secret Wars ended was literally Hickman saying, "Okay, here you go. The stage is set. Do whatever you want to in the new multiverse." And they were like, "We're just going to do the same old shit." That's the problem that I had with it.
Yeah.
It was marketed and billed and designed, and given to us as one thing, and it turned out to be something else entirely. Now, Marvel never officially said reboot, but you can't show somebody a horse, or show somebody a pony and say, "Well, we never said it was a pony," when you advertise it to be a horse. Well, this thing could run at 60 miles an hour.
It's always ponies with you, Rob, isn't it? What's up with the ponies?
Man,
I'm sorry, you left that open. I had to get it.
I did.
All right.
Kudos.
So anyway, the most amazing book ever is starting up again, and then Jessica Jones is coming out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now I'm not against
After
Jessica
like a
Jones.
decade.
No, actually, I'm kind of excited that she. No, wait. Here's my question though: Is this
it's
Jessica Jones? I'm gonna go hide in Canada. I have a child. I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah,
or is this
this is
Jessica
Netflix,
Jones that they
Jessica
created a
Jones.
show around?
This is Netflix, Jessica Jones.
This is Marvel Comics Jessica Jones.
I don't think so, man. I think the Jessica Jones show was so popular they're going to make it based on her.
She's got a
Private Eye
kid though,
Jessica
and
Jones.
she's married, so they can't make it the show 100%.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
What if she
In fact,
divorces? What if that's like the
No.
pivotal start?
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't know.
want
I
that.
don't
I don't
mean in the
divorce.
sense. I don't mean in the sense of like her everyday life. I mean in the sense that I think she's going to play a far more active role in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
what we've seen in
Oh,
the past.
totally.
So
Ben just brought her back at the end of Spider-Man. She's going to be watching him now. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I actually had a great pitch for a Jessica Jones book, and I hope they do it. It's Jessica Jones being like, soccer mom, PTA mom, while also being a hard-nosed private investigator with super strength. I want to see those two parts of her life she has to juggle and put together.
I think it's going to be that she throws everything away. I think it's going to be that like she divorces Luke Cage, she takes the kid, and she's just a complete like train wreck of a person.
That's
Good,
I don't
that's
know.
what
I would actually. I think that would make some really good storytelling. To be honest,
It would, but it would make me
It
sad.
already. I mean,
it would be sad.
Her book Alias was phenomenal, and then it
Yeah.
just kept getting diminishing returns. Like Pulse was all right, and then she just kept leaving. Like, oh, Luke, you got to be a superhero again. I'm going to take my kid to Canada again. Her. Like, oh
Hang
my
out with
God.
Joel.
Well, because she was literally a character nobody. I mean, it got to the point where she appeared in a Spider-Man story and was like, "You were my inspiration for becoming a hero." Before I got kidnapped by the Purple Man for 6 months. Like,
Right.
I mean, it was like I agree with Sal on that. Alias was like the height of Jessica Jones in comics. Like, it's kind of funny too. Like the first time she shows up is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like I think this is going to be. I hope. kind of a return to the familiarity of Alias. I really hope it is.
It's the same team. They're even getting Michael Gaydos to draw it. So I'm
that's gonna be good.
All right, so moving on, because we have a humongous list in front of us, and I want to read this, whatever it is. The one I'm not excited about, but I think Joel is Kingpin #1.
Yo,
I'm
of course
so
I'm excited for
hyped about this.
Kingpin.
I legitimately don't care about Kingpin. I don't.
Both Ben and Caitlin on the last poll totally crapped on me for liking the Civil War tie-in with Kingpin. I'm excited for him taking back control, and the story's called "The Man Without Flaw." I like that.
That's cool. I like Kingpin. I'm not gonna read a book about him.
Let's make this a book about him. Clawing his way back up to the top of the criminal underworld. Every arc is like, no, I'm gonna get it back one piece at a time.
It'll be Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, but I think it'll be cool.
It basically look at the art. It basically is.
Basically, I like how they're slimming him down just a little, just to make him more realistic now.
Yeah,
it's just a little more recognizable. Oh, he looks like Vincent D'Onofrio. Well,
it's because he's not rich anymore. He's hungry. He can't eat as much as he used to. He's a hungry young fighter. He's fighting for a sandwich.
Which brings us to a book that I'm apparently the only person in the world still excited about, but Mighty Thor. I'm
excited about
it. The Asgard-Shi'ar War sounds freaking awesome.
Yes. Okay. This like I was scrolling through some of the titles earlier while you guys were talking, and I came across this. I will read the shit out of it.
Oh, so
the Asgard-Shi'ar War.
Not only is it a war between Asgard and Shi'ar, but it's Jane Foster Thor and our boy Odin's son is back.
Here come that boy.
Here come that boy Odin. Shit, what up, Odin's son? Lost that arm.
Is he gonna get his arm back? Is he gonna he looks like he finally learned how to shave again.
Yeah, there you go. But not all the way. He still needs to have a manly beard, just not a hobo beard.
He looks like he cares about himself.
I mean, I know a lot of people hate Mighty Thor, female Thor. How
could you hate that? It's been a great,
her.
amazing run from God Butcher to this now. Jason Aaron has been telling one epic storyline.
And I feel like the people that hate Mighty Thor at this point are the ones that just refuse to give Jane Foster a thought, like a chance.
Yep.
I think that's what it is at this point.
No, Jason Aaron's run of Jane Foster Thor has been one of the greatest runs in comics that I've read in a long time.
Yes. Oh, he's done such an amazing job with it.
Almost never.
If you haven't been reading Mighty Thor because you're like, oh, I don't want to read Jane Foster Thor, go pick up just a couple issues. Try it, and I'm telling you right now, you will be hooked. Everyone's like, oh, they forgot about the original Thor. No, they didn't. That's a part of the story.
He's still a huge part of it, and the fact that Jason Aaron has been able to give Jane Foster new problems and new challenges that the old Odinson Thor never had to deal with, kind of bringing back a dual identity thing that she needs to protect the Jane Foster identity but also be Thor at the same time. That's good drama. That's really good drama.
Well, the other half of that is also like she's literally dying.
That too.
So it's like
no one really cares about that, Rob.
I mean, I'm saying
clock.
Like she could become Jane Foster, but and I'm not. See, I don't. As far as I realize, Jason Aaron's never really gone into this explanation. But as far as I'm aware, whenever she's Thor, she's obviously not dying. But whenever she becomes Jane Foster, like she continues. So it's like
whenever she becomes Thor,
it
flushes out all the chemotherapy drugs and all the cancer drugs that she's taking. So every time she becomes Thor, she basically goes back to zero.
Because the problem is chemotherapy and all those drugs are technically poisoning your body to get rid of another illness. So when she becomes Thor, everything is healed, including that poison. So then when she turns back to Jane Foster, now she has nothing in her system fighting the cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
They've established why she doesn't just stay Thor, right?
Well, it's because Jane Foster is important too, because she is Earth's representative in the Asgardian Council, so she's fighting for the rights of us people, of us Humes on Earth. Jane Foster cares about us.
Moving on to the next two, which aren't listed, we have no covers for them right now. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is hitting 13. Now, I'm not going to lie, I am enjoying that book, but I am surprised it's still going.
More power to that book.
I haven't read it at all.
It's actually a really funny story about a little girl who finds a dinosaur. And then they team up, and like they had a whole arc where they swapped brains, and it's been a fun story. It's not my top read, but it's something I'm reading on the side. But I'm 100% surprised it's still going.
It sounds like if you're a comic reader with children, that's like a comic to give them.
It's a great book. I really do enjoy it. But Moon Knight number 10. I'm kind of happy about that.
All the personalities are coming back. Is the thing. Stephen Grant, the cabbie, they're all coming back.
So he's going to be the cab driver.
And the millionaire. They're resetting it because, that was the whole thing. I imagine I'm the only one of you who's still reading Moon Knight. They had a whole thing where he was in an insane asylum and he met a bunch of friends from his past who were all characters from past runs. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay. And he's like, well, I remember you, but not the you that you are now, Mr. Knight. And in the final issue, that came out last week. He got accosted by classic Moon Knight in the classic costume and said, "I've come to stop you, Mr. Knight."
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite moment was he goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'm Moon Knight, you lunatic."
Yeah, I love that.
I'm like, that's really funny.
That is funny.
That almost got me to go back and read it. And I was like, no.
The whole series is like Shutter Island and like They Live, but with ancient Egypt.
No, it's really good. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's one of those ones. The only problem I have with the Moon Knight is it's kind of like Doctor Strange, where I don't like reading the individuals. Because I feel like the story arc is better told as like a graphic novel. So some story arcs, I wait for them to wrap up and I read like 4 issues at a time, and that's what I'm reading.
That's true.
That brings us to another new title, so Rob can get excited. Something I have no idea what this is, called Mosaic.
Yep.
Okay.
We talked about this.
I've been doing some poking around. Mosaic is a new Inhuman that was made, and he can potentially pose a major problem in comics. He's an Inhuman that was made. That's a former baseball, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. He was a former basketball player. Yeah, he was basically like an asshole. Well, then he's exposed to the Terrigen Mist, and now he has the ability to jump bodies.
So he's LeBron. If LeBron got superpowers,
he's like LeBron
basically.
Dead Man.
The problem with this is he can literally, Marvel will turn him into a retconning machine. Oh my God, nobody liked this character story arc. Well, he was possessed by Mosaic the entire time is what happened.
And they make a point of saying he's an anti-hero. And I worry about Mosaic because he's something that
Marvel cover Spider-Man, what looks like Jessica Jones.
Yeah, that's what I'm sure his first story arc will involve literally it'll involve like a whodunit kind of thing where they're literally trying to track down this one person and they eventually you discover, and it'll be a cool mystery thing. The problem is characters like that are it's like Franklin Richards, it's like Century, it's like Blue Marvel. It's very easy to abuse what their characters are capable of for the sake of fixing continuity errors.
And it's funny, we were talking about Riri and all this new generation of young Marvel heroes, and man, Marvel's found a good way to have these characters fill the role of classic heroes, let them gather a fan base, then spin them off. They're not doing that with Mosaic. They're very much saying, yes, he's a young, hip African-American youth who's going to have powers, and he's going to be the next big character. And it's like, Marvel, I thought you stopped doing that. It's a new character. What do we know about new characters? People don't want to read new characters. Just ask Alpha.
Yeah. Or Gravity.
I feel bad for Alpha. I thought Alpha was kind of fun.
Well, it's not an issue of new characters. It's an issue of the right. Like, everybody's excited for new characters when they first show up because they're new. The problem is they just hand them off to writers that don't know what they're doing, and they end up writing shitty stories for the next, a year and a half, and then they cancel the title. That's what
interesting, too, that over at DC, they're bringing back Vigilante for a short miniseries, and they're also saying, yes, he's a former basketball player, African-American youth who becomes an anti-hero superhero. I'm like, were you guys looking at each other's tests again?
Real quick before we move past Mosaic, I do want to state they show Iron Man on here. I'm gonna laugh so hard if they write off the Superior Iron Man run as being Mosaic was in him.
My God!
And the reason he never got an ending is when he left the window, Mosaic just left.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd be so disappointed if they did.
Could you imagine that? They're like, remember that time he was an Iron Man? When was that? Oh, when he was evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to the next title on the list here. Nova, which
Dick Ryder's return.
I say, well, we don't officially. Is it official? Because we just see a helmet.
It's his helmet.
That's Richard Ryder's helmet.
And we know it's his helmet, but they've had that helmet's been floating around with Sam for a little while now.
But Bleeding Cool, who leaked the story, said he's coming back, and they've been right about everything else.
Bleeding Cool says a lot of things.
They do, but they were on top of this, so I'm likely to believe them.
The reason I think it is because it looks like Sam's just hasn't been selling because they're rebooting it again. I think part of the problem with Sam is they've been telling the exact same goddamn story now for like 45 issues. He's an amazing character, but for 45 issues, he's looking for his goddamn father.
And it's not like Sam's going away; he's just going off to join the Champions.
He could be on teams. Moving on with that character, yeah.
Well,
I feel like his story would have been better if they just here's your dad. Let's move on.
Yes.
Yeah,
but anyway, it looks like they're going to bring back Richard Rider. Whether or not that's for a miniseries or what, we don't know. He's technically dead right now, but he's technically absorbed the Cosmic Cube, so it could be a number of things.
Lots of stuff has happened with him.
Yeah. For the record, those guys wondering about the Captain America Hydra thing, that was a Cosmic Cube thing. Guess how Richard Rider died? He blew up with the Cosmic Cube. Let's see here. Is he going to show back up and be like, Hail Hydra?
Oh, my God.
Wouldn't that be something?
No.
So, anyway.
Wouldn't it be something if Kobik is like, oh, yeah, I brought back my friend, Richard. Oh, you don't know Richard? Yeah, Richard's been hanging out with me all along.
Oh, my God.
I would be okay with that.
All right, so we got Nova. Next one's Occupy Avengers. Looks like street level superheroes being Avengers team.
Yes, from David Walker, the man who is currently writing Power Man and Iron Fist, which is great. The dude who wrote that last Cyborg run for DC, and a guy who writes Shaft comics. I really like him. I like the idea of a street-level Avengers team. Here's the thing that gets me, though. It's going to be a socially responsible team where we're going to tackle issues. And we have Clint Barton and Hawkeye on the cover. Oh, isn't that funny? Green Arrow found his liberal voice again, and now all of a sudden Clint Barton found one, too. Mm-hmm.
But see, this is cool to me. I mean, this is all new and all different.
Oh, I'm gonna read it. I really like Walker's work.
I just want to see Clint Barton do something other than wisecrack or be Shield's spy on a team.
Yeah, and name is dog. Like, what is it? What does he name his dog?
Pizza Dog.
And then he named the other one like Pizza Dog 2. Like,
we got Patsy Walker, aka Hellcat, continuing onward. I gave up on this one after issue 1. I know a lot of people love it though.
Yeah,
it has an audience.
It has an audience. I'm not that audience. I mean, not every comic book is for every person. So.
Yeah.
Power Man and Iron Fist is another one I dropped off on.
It's so good. It's
I know
so
you've been
good.
loving it, but I just couldn't get behind it.
It's total blaxploitation, as you can see on the cover there. Cottonmouth is on there. Cottonmouth, who's going to be the villain for the TV show. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That brings us to another character getting his own book, which is weird. But Prowler, that's all new, all different.
Yeah,
a new
who
superhero.
asked for that?
Interesting.
I asked for that. I sent a formal letter to Marvel that said the Comicstorian wants a Prowler book, and then I followed it up with, "Who is Prowler?"
Okay, you know what? Like I know Prowler.
I know Prowler is too. I don't want to write a book about him.
I only know who Prowler is for 2 reasons. One, because they beat the shit out of him during Civil War when he he was the first villain to literally go to jail, or the first character to go to jail when he refused to register by the time the deadline ended in Civil War 1, and he's Spider-Man right now. Those are the only 2 reasons I know who that character is. That's not reason enough for me to buy him.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. They've tried to raise his profile for a bit. Now, you'll notice the cover here says you only live twice, and it's a Prowler in a newish costume bearing an old Prowler. Now, is this Hobie Brown saying, no, I want to be a new hero, I want to be a new man? Or is this someone else who has stolen the Prowler identity, killed Hobie Brown, and is now running around?
Or it could just be
who cares about Hobie Brown?
Identity.
Maybe here's one for you. Maybe it's the ultimate Prowler. Maybe it's Miles' uncle.
That'd be cool.
Maybe he survived. Wouldn't that be some stuff? Hey, I remember the Ultimate Universe.
Well, moving on, we have Punisher in what appears to be a cover of the middle of a woodland massacre.
Yep,
works for me.
Kind of excited about it. I'm not liking the current one right now, and I think it's the same writer, but I have a feeling because I like Punisher as a hero. I think just the current arc just isn't working for me.
These are straightforward, down and dirty Punisher stories. I always said they reminded me of like Ennis's Marvel Knights, but they're not as weirdly funny or quirky as Ennis.
I mean, I always say to this day, and like the Punisher he just needs to be a Marvel Max title and nothing more. Like they just need to put him in Marvel Max and keep him there.
That being said, this is as close to a Marvel Max title as you can get in the Marvel universe.
Oh, I agree.
They even say like not for kids. People
Punisher
bleed
should have been
and
the man on the wall in Original Sin.
I don't
That's
want to
actually not a bad idea.
You should have just sent Punisher into space. You could kill anyone in space. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to kill Green Goblin. He can kill the leader of the Shi'ar Empire, and nobody cares.
I only want to see Punisher blowing away gangbangers.
He'll always do that. He will be doing that until we're all dead. Like
it's true.
He can kill aliens for 3 years before they make him that. They made him a freaking Frankenstein and then literally put him back in the suit. And
he was an angel for a bit. Remember when he was an angel of death?
I remember
that crap. I know about it.
They tried, man.
Because we're way over our normal time frame, but I want to do this list. So we're at Rocket Raccoon, and it looks like he's in the pound.
Oh,
okay.
I like Rocket Raccoon. Who's writing this one though? I don't know that writer. I like Scotty Young. Just leave Scotty Young and Rocket. Let him have fun.
It ain't Scotty Young.
I noticed. Thanks, Joel. God damn.
Yeah,
Thanks, Mom.
That does not look like Scotty Young art to me.
No,
it's
I could be wrong though.
Silk is continuing, which I'm a very big person of if the art is crap, I don't bother. And Silk started amazing and then went with the weirdest art style I've ever seen that literally turned me off of the whole series.
It got too dark and gritty, the art for stories that weren't really dark and gritty. It didn't match. Now, Faust wanted me to point out that that's his favorite Spider-Girl that's coming
Maddie
back.
Franklin's coming back,
Yeah.
But since Silk has been traveling through the multiverse, that could be anything at this point.
It's true.
Yep.
So that, and it's titled One Big Happy Family. Silver Surfer's continuing with Dan Slott on there, having his little Dr.
And Mike Allred, amazing.
I love this. I love the Silver Surfer book. I do.
It is. Well, it's good because it's like the other half of the Marvel Cosmic line. Like, what the hell else is going on besides the Ultimates? It's good. Like, it's nice.
Then we have 2 more of the Mercs for Hire getting their own books.
Mm-hmm.
See, okay, you know what this is? You know what this is? This is Deadpool Mercs for Hire sold amazingly well, and Deadpool was barely in it. And Marvel doesn't know who was the guy that sold it.
Yeah,
That's what this is. No, it is.
That makes
so they're
sense.
like, give them all a book, and whoever sells, that was the guy.
Yeah.
James Bourne. Do you want to read about James Bourne or Slapstick? Not really.
Yeah, so the Slapstick, and we have Solo,
I
James
can't believe
Bourne.
they're making a Slapstick book. I'm going to buy the first issue because I can't believe they're making a Slapstick book.
I know, right? He looks so happy on the cover, too. He can't believe it.
The fact that they're all getting a book tells me that they don't know why it's selling. Yeah, and I want to be like, what it is they're probably like, it's probably because we put Deadpool on the cover, but what if it's not? What if one of these other guys is secretly an amazing seller and we just need to try it?
That's right.
I can guarantee you it's none of that. It's because it's called Deadpool. The Mercs.
Out of all of these, I honestly will probably read Solo because he actually has been pretty funny and interesting in the book. Out of all the characters,
he's a generic action man.
Dude, his
I like
introduction-
generic action man.
His introduction in the comics when he God, I don't remember who it was that he went after, but like he jumped out the window.
Yeah.
You know, like he kept hitting on that chick the whole time.
Yep.
And then finally jumped out the window
That
at the end.
was Silver Fox, the Korean hero
that's
that they were
right.
trying to push.
Oh
So
God.
I'm on board with Solo. I'll probably grab Slapstick just like Sal to be like, I can't believe this exists.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll buy it and never open it. I'll literally get it bagged and board and just never open it. Wait 10 years and sell it for 10 grand. That's what I'll do.
Spider-Gwen's continuing, which I thought that it was really plummeting. I dropped it finally.
It is. But don't worry, because Robbie Rodriguez, the artist, is leaving, so it'll be dead soon. My guess is they'll fold her into the real universe.
It had a good run. Was we can see the cover of Spider-Man there. They're going to be putting her and Miles together, which is kind of an interesting
we're
idea.
not there yet. We're at Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks. Speaking of Comic Book Girl 19,
You beat me to it. I wanted to go there.
So the cover of Spider-Man 2099 shows Spider-Man 2099 dead in the arms of Comic Book Girl 19 with Spider-Man 2099 standing over him.
I think that's a woman.
It's continuing too, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah.
I haven't been too interested in Spider-Man 2099 lately because like ever since the all new, all different run, it's just been kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I dropped it and never looked back, even though I did like it when it started.
Yeah, same here.
Spider-Woman's continuing, which I am happy about, although I'd like to get more resolution. Is it just me? Or it's like, okay, she had the baby, and now the baby's being babysat while she goes on crazy adventures.
Yep. That was the worry. That was the concern of doing that.
That they were
She's also going to be fighting the
behind.
Hobgoblin, but we don't know which Hobgoblin.
Well, we never do.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of part of the appeal. Are you Kingsley? Which one are you?
Yeah.
For those of you guys who are asking, this is all coming out in October. This is the new status quo for Marvel. And just like you see on my channel where I'm doing all the Rebirth stuff right now, as of that, you'll start seeing all the new #1s over at Marvel. So
That's right.
Anyway, so that brings us to Squad. Wait, where's Spider-Man? Oh, it was that. I skipped over it. I don't know why.
Yeah, when I was talking about it, you said we're not there yet. I'm like, we totally are.
No, we are. You're legit. I'm sorry. Joel, I know I give you a hard time, but I am legitimately sorry.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, you need to play the sweet moment music.
The sad walking away music from the Incredible Hulk.
Okay, so like 5 people have been not shutting up in the goddamn chat wanting to know about Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen. We don't know.
I saw that.
Let me tell you something.
Maybe this is their attempt to save her. Like if she doesn't work or carry her over to something.
It's Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pichelli. They're the ones that made Miles, so it makes sense to me. They're gonna.
For me, I saw people are already freaking out about like how isn't Spider-Gwen supposed to be 19 and Miles is 16? Like that is rape, and I'm like, you're.
First off,
depends
that's
on the
only rape
state.
in certain states. Secondly,
Not in New York. Like it ain't rape in New York. Get over it.
Secondly, it doesn't really matter
Miles
because
is a
they can
playa
easily-
then getting an older woman. Good for him.
I said
or
secondly,
she's
it doesn't
not
really matter
19.
because they can very easily be like, no, Spider-Gwen's 16. She's 17.
Yeah. She could be 18, 17. Who cares? Like
Spider-Gwen's however old we want her to be because she's a fictional character.
Yeah.
people are really worried about what these
Never mind the
fictional
fact
characters
they're
are
only
doing.
kissing, and no matter what state you're in, that's okay.
Also,
As long as they don't do the hanky-panky.
No, but what if they have sex, Benny? What if these fictional characters have sex with each other?
Then what? Then what?
How are they going to do it? They're an interdimensional portal because she doesn't even live in this universe.
But
Well,
she jumps
somehow
back
she
and
does
forth,
because,
For
though.
those of you guys
there's
who are wondering
Christian-
how Spider-Gwen could possibly end up in the main universe, she's been multiverse hopping forever now.
Because she's a member of the Web Warriors, and as a member of the Web Warriors, she's allowed to jump back and
She
forth.
literally has
Now,
a
it's-
wristwatch that lets her jump between universes.
Yep.
So she's literally, I'm not even joking, literally been going to the main universe, having coffee with Spider-Woman, and then she'll come back with her and they'll hang out in her universe.
Yep.
Yeah, no, they did a whole thing, a Spider-Woman crossover.
They did.
In which they had a
made
whole
me stop
thing.
reading Silk for a minute.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Obviously, when I dropped off reading Spider-Gwen, no particular reason, I just didn't have room for it on my pull anymore. Spider-Gwen was saying, should I maybe go introduce myself to this world's Peter Parker? And then she's like, no, because that would open up a ton of terrible feelings and emotions for him. So maybe I'll just try and keep myself secret from him. So it's interesting. I'll keep myself secret from him. Miles, though, he's not Peter. But Peter's going to find out.
And the only problem I have with this is I feel like it's going to be more of a tongue-in-cheek storyline and not very serious.
Yeah.
Because the plot's name is Kissing.
Right.
That does not
You know
scream
what?
to me serious plot.
I
I want to
so.
read. I want to read that story where Miles Morales goes to Peter like, "Hey, Peter, you won't believe what just happened." It's like, "What's going on, Miles?" Like, "I just banged this chick named Gwen Stacy." What?
And then he just starts crying and strangling
starts
Miles.
No, but you know what? It'd be better if he follows it up with, from what I'm told, once they go black, they never go back, Peter.
Peter, she said you got a small dick, man.
And then Peter just starts crying.
Yeah. Just sobbing
And
to
the
himself.
podcast was won by Benny.
There's a stolen moment. I'm going to steal the moment. It was there's a moment in like a Daredevil book or a Spider-Man book in which Daredevil and Black Cat are hooking up, and he would do the same thing where he's like, "I think this is my supervillain origin." Like that would be what he would say to Miles. Like, "Okay, well, you are now my arch nemesis."
All right, so I mean,
We got to fight now.
we don't. This is all leaked titles, guys. We don't really have much else to work on. We can just
No,
have theories and
I don't know.
ideas.
There were some leaked synopsises, but yeah.
For the record, I gotta say, since 5 people wanted to know what the hell was going on with that thumbnail and what this was, Sal, you picked a hell of a cover to pick as the thumbnail for the video here.
Yes, sir. Yes, I did. Thumbs up, sir. Yes, good job.
That was good.
Thanks.
That brings
Also-
us to Spider-Woman with the Hobgoblin thing. We already covered that.
Yeah.
Squadron,
We're at Squadron.
Supreme is continuing.
Namor is coming back to life, and he's
Well,
assumedly
that
going
was
to join
only a
that
matter
team.
of time.
Ooh, shocking everyone ever.
I know.
I knew
That
that
dude
was coming.
cheats death a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been around for like 70 years, so makes
The
sense.
Star-Lord series is continuing. If this is
Chip
still his
Zdarsky.
history rewriting the retcons they're doing with them, I don't like it. I'm not.
Yeah, Chip
I
Zdarsky's
love
a little.
Star-Lord. I really do. I'm actually. I want to work on once this book is out and once the comic books I'm writing is out and all that other crap. I'm going to work on a Star-Lord cosplay.
I can see it.
That way, my resume will then be like writer, YouTuber, host, cosplayer.
Damn your pelvic sorcery, Benny.
But no, I mean,
Gonna book.
it looks like it's probably him as a kid still growing up, which,
Yeah.
which then begs the differ. Why is it titled #1 again? But we've already beat that horse to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The
Yes, we
book
have.
that Rob has been asking for, which is probably going to spring out of the end of Ultimates,
Yep.
Thanos.
From Starlin,
Mm-hmm. I'm actually excited for this too.
which means it's going to be another impenetrable cosmic thing for the rest of us
No.
who haven't read the last
And
50
it won't have
Starlin
any
things.
bearing on the actual Marvel universe.
Aw.
Now, you know why I'm excited about this? One, because Jim Starlin is finally not doing the Infinity series anymore. It was time for that to end. And two, because Thanos is not in love with Mistress Death anymore,
Oh,
and I'm excited to see what
you
direction
got
that
over
goes.
it, huh?
No,
Well, he's
he-
in love with,
he got-
with nothingness.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
he got over the whole thing when he fought against Deadpool. That was when that whole thing ended.
He traded one emo concept for another emo concept.
Yeah.
That
He
brings
basically
us
lost
to
that.
Thunderbolts #7.
Yes.
Unless I missed issue 2, which I probably did because I'm backlogged a little right now.
I read it.
So it did come out. Is 3 out?
No, not yet.
Okay. So I kind of like the idea that it's continuing with Winter Soldier and from what it looks like new people on the team.
He's been taken
Jim
captive
Zub-
by Songbird and Hydra Captain America, which obviously this will play into the much bigger Nick Spencer story because we now know Winter Soldier is the keeper of Kobik, and Kobik is really important to what's going on.
Dude, I'm so glad they're doing this with Bucky Barnes, because when they brought him back, my first question was, well, what the hell are they going to do with Bucky Barnes now that he's back?
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do with this? Because they've never been able to do anything with this character, which is why I agree with Sal that it was a good idea to put him as a man on the wall. So they
get
could
him
literally
out of
just
there.
keep him there, and they could just have him around whenever they need him. Well, then they bring him back, and they put him in the Thunderbolts. What a genius idea. What a great idea. Give him a team of reformed villains, put him with some chick that's basically a cosmic cube, and just see what happens. And I'm excited about this.
Also, there's
Well,
rumors flying around about the return of Citizen V in one form or another. Either Bucky will take up the Citizen V mantle, or he'll fight Citizen V at some point, because this team of the Thunderbolts is mostly made up of members of the original Thunderbolts who masqueraded as heroes.
It's all weird. Anyway,
It is.
I'm actually liking the Thunderbolts right now just because of the concept behind it. I
like the story, hate the art, wish they'd get a new artist.
Yeah, that's right. The artist is awful.
The 90s art fell out of favor for a reason, people. You can't just nostalgia for 90s art properties. That's what this was
That's the only
originally.
problem I'm having with it, but I do love Jim Zub's writing. So, and he confirmed this morning that it was Songbird because people were questioning.
Right.
Nice. Jim Zub is like my con-going good luck charm. I've interviewed him twice. In fact, he teaches my friend art in Toronto.
Yeah, he's like the nicest guy in the entire goddamn world.
Oh, he's wonderful, man. I always make a chance to talk to. Hi, Jim, if you're watching. We like you a lot.
We do. We really do.
We love you, Jim. No, I met him for the first time. Where were we at, Ben? We were at somewhere. I met him for the first time.
Sean. Rob, we were at a Comic-Con. Now, if you can I have no idea.
I know we were at a convention. I can't remember which one we were at.
I have no idea.
But,
we go to one every month.
Yeah, well, I bought his Wayward titles, and he signed them for me.
Was that
and
WonderCon? No, that
maybe
was
it was
Chicago.
WonderCon.
That was Chicago.
That was Chicago. Okay, and yeah, he's a really, really cool guy. He's really chill. I'd have a beer with him.
Okay, and
Jim Zub, I would have a beer
call
with
right
you.
now. Next title on the list here is the first canceled title, U.S. Avengers.
Oh, U.S. Avengers. Yeah.
That one will stick in. It's Ewing. It's taking over from the new Avengers.
Look at who is on the team.
It's a tongue-in-cheek book. They're doing jokes.
They're
doing
Ross has
a mustache.
A mustache.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the thing, man. Rob should be all over this. Al Ewing's writing it.
Yeah.
No, I like Al Ewing's Ultimates, but I also like Kenneth Rocafort's art, which is why I'm not really
to Ultimates 2, Rob.
Oh, that's Ultimates squared because it's a little too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's squared.
And this is what I want to know.
Who knows his maths?
Who chained Eternity? Now, my biggest fear, one, is Kenneth Rocafor is not drawing this, which sucks. But two, because I'm afraid that they're going to write themselves into a hole. Because right now, Eternity is literally just sitting in chains. Like, he's not going anywhere. So someone somewhere that's a cosmic level being beyond the power of Eternity chained him.
Right.
And the question is, who did it? I personally think it's Adam Warlock, the Living Tribunal. But, the fact remains that I'm excited to see what happens. Well, I'll read anything if it has Ultimates on it.
The next two titles on the list. By the way, you're I didn't like the first 3 issues of Ultimates, but the way you talk about it, I'm debating actually reading.
It's true.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah. Okay, which brings us to what I would like to go ahead and coin as the 2 titles that ran out of additional adjectives for their name. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl 16 and Unbelievable Gwenpool number 7.
Yes, yep. I will continue to not read Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. I will continue to read Gwenpool.
Dude, okay,
really?
Gwenpool
like it.
Has become like one of my favorite titles right now. I got it as this is going to be in my trash within the first 2 issues, and I am like, it comes down like, what the hell is happening with Gwen now? Like,
literally, issue 1, I'm like, no, and then issue 2, I'm like, oh.
Wasn't
this
it
is
I that
amazing.
told you to read issue 2? Like, I was like, no, just try issue 2.
We have video footage of this. Go back to the poll where we talk about Gwenpool. I'm like, oh, no, it might be okay. Benny and Sal, no, it won't. The first issue was terrible. Now they're the ones saying it's great, and I'm the one who didn't read the rest.
I dig it.
The direction they're going with that. So the concept behind Gwenpool basically is that she is a girl from the real world brought into this world. And I don't give a crap what you all want to say, because I remember I made a video and everyone's like, her name's not Gwen Stacy. It's goddamn Gwen Stacy from an alternate universe. Get the fuck over it. Anyway.
No, she has a real name, and it's established in issue 2 or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly, whatever. But she's still a version of Gwen Stacy, just different named or whatever. That's how the multiverse works, people. Anyway. The whole plot is she is a real person from our world in this world of superheroes. So she knows about them and she knows their powers, but now like she has a fake identity and she's all trying to like fit in and she has no idea how to get home.
She also has no powers of her own.
Well, her power is the knowledge of all of these people.
It's true. She has genre savvy is her power.
Her power is the fourth wall. Like she knows she's in a comic.
Yeah.
So is it like in Deadpool Kill the Marvel Universe when Deadpool was like, Wolverine, your power is popularity?
Yeah, she actually does a lot of the shticks that Deadpool himself doesn't do anymore in his own book, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. She does things that, like, I think would be done in like either a movie about this concept or in like if you were to explore it in a real way. Like she's dealing, like there's a scene where she's dealing with Thor, and she's like, "Oh crap, what was her name?" She's played by Natalie Portman, Jane. And then she freaks out, and it's like that's what would happen. Like it's kind of fun. I dig it.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing book. And just like why I love Gotham Academy, the art is phenomenal.
It's a pretty
Gotham
book.
Academy's art is a second to none.
Yeah. Well, no, and the second to him is
It's
Gwenpool.
freaking art. It's amazing. It looks
why do they put the most beautiful art on these obscure titles like this?
I don't know.
I know.
It's
I
probably
don't know, man.
they want to work on. They're like, nah.
Yeah.
Draw people in.
So that's that. So Uncanny Avengers number 15 is continuing.
I want to talk about this. It's continuing, but with a twist. So it looks like that Captain America will be ousted from the Unity Squad now that they know he's working for Hydra. And Cable, of all people, decides to take up the lead now. So this is basically an X-Force book now.
I was gonna be like, so they just turned
basically
Uncanny
X-Force.
Avengers
There's no
into
Domino,
X-Force?
though. It can't be X-Force.
It's
And
a
I
new
love
X-Force book,
this
and
cover.
Janet is also on it.
No, but this cover, Deadpool's reaction is incredible.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Deadpool can't believe it.
Well, I mean, Rogue is just going to become the new Domino. Cable will find a way to work around her powers, and they will produce a child at some point.
They also have Janet taking up a role, because if you've been reading the book currently, Janet is kind of working her way in because of a Hank Pym story. I like the Uncanny Avengers. I like Duggan the writer. This team has too many people, though. They need to lose a couple of these people. They got too many.
Wait, okay, let's look at this. This is like a horror movie. Who's gonna die? I vote Wiccan's gonna die immediately.
That's Quinn Silver, not
The
Wiccan.
problem that I had with Jerry Duggan when he first launched this was it didn't seem like he knew what it seemed like he didn't know what he wanted to do.
It had
It
to
seemed
serve
like-
other purposes outside their own, because it only
Exactly.
had one run where they had to introduce this new Inhuman. Then boom, we were in Pleasant Hill. Now we got to deal with that. That's why this last story with Pimtron has been the best, because it actually seems like a story he wanted to tell.
Well, yeah, that was the issue. It looked like somebody was like, "Hey, here's the Uncanny Avengers title. Write these story arcs first, and then focus on the story that you want to do."
The irony being, this Pimtron story is the best. It barely involves anyone else on the team. They have to go back to the team sitting around, and Johnny being like, "Man, I miss Reed and Sue. I wish they were there."
So, I mean, this does look incredible. I'm liking what they're doing now. I do agree with you. It kind of felt like they're trying to find a footing. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the combination of the two teams.
It's funny. It's the only Avengers book that's not changing its name or anything.
Yeah.
It actually.
Well, what I like
continue.
about this is these seem to have gotten some of the more popular of the X-Men. So, like, if X-Men go away, it's like, well, we're going to keep Rogue and Quicksilver. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Which, by the way, like Megan Hendricks' art on this is amazing.
Oh yeah.
On that cover.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to Uncanny Inhumans, which actually has not been bad. I'm actually
No.
liking
I've been digging
it.
it. It's been solid. Medusa
Yeah.
gets a haircut. What's that mean?
By the way, that's a glowing endorsement for me. Not that bad.
I mean, I'm curious because it says no Rainey's Eternal, so I guess it looks like she's being ousted as leader of the Inhumans. So my
they
question
got to
is,
get rid of her in Black Bolt, because if you're reading the book right now, they are causing so many problems and risks
Oh,
between
yes.
the Inhumans.
well, that was going to be my question: is who's going to take their place? Because they've literally been the 1-2 punch of the Inhumans royal family since their inception, since they were first introduced. And so, like, who's going to take their place? My issue here, I think it was one of the biggest mistakes for Charles Soule to kill off. What's his name? God, who was his name that first showed up in the original Inhumans run? They had him in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cartoon show or TV show.
Maximus the Mad. Who are you trying?
No.
The eyes.
No, the one that was going around. Like, he was killing off Inhumans that he deemed too weak to have their powers.
Oh,
Lash?
Lash.
Lash, yeah, I think it was a mistake for him to kill off Lash.
They didn't kill off Lash in the comic. Lash is still around.
I thought they killed him off.
No.
Yeah, they
And,
killed him off in the way all comic book characters are killed. Oh no, I fell down a chasm. I might never
Okay,
be back.
yeah, okay. Well, they need to bring Lash back and actually have him take over the leader of the Inhumans. That's what I would.
That would be
I think it's
interesting.
cool. Yeah, I'd love
Which
that.
brings us to the latest new character, so Rob can rant about all new, all Marvel being cool. The surprisingly out of nowhere daughter of Hank Pym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Not
I
yet.
feel like this was
so
kind of
far
shoot.
for her only appearance, I liked it.
Yeah.
So
But I feel like this was just kind of crammed in because of the Ant-Man movie.
yeah, so
Well,
what? I
well,
like
that's the
that
sad thing. There is no new astonishing Ant-Man on this list, so I guess we lost that, but gained Wasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what they're going to do,
read
right?
it, but I don't know.
Wait,
You know what they're
is
gonna
Nick
do, though?
Is Nick Spencer just doing the Cap books now? Is that what's going on?
I guess he doesn't have time for Ant-Man anymore, which is really
not?
sad. My only hope is that when we get closer to Ant-Man Wasp, the sequel, that then becomes a book.
They might do that, but okay. So anyway, that brings us down because we're way over time. The one that everyone's been dying for, the unworthy Thor.
Yeah.
With an axe and an axe.
He's dual wielding.
Yeah.
I got Mjolnir. I got Jabberjorn. I picked all the best perks.
It's Yarnbjorn, man. Jabberjorn. It's Yarn. They're pronounced as Y's, man.
Jabberjorn.
So I mean that's incredible because I can't wait to finally have Thor and Mighty Thor just have them side by side. But that also, and this one makes me sad just on the cover because I'm hoping it's not the Venom.
It's going to be Eddie Brock.
You think Eddie Brock's getting it back? Because I like Flash Thompson.
Me too.
Nobody likes Flash Thompson. Nobody liked Eddie Brock. That's why he was relegated to being Toxin again in the freaking
Carnage books.
Stupid.
I liked him as Agent Venom more than Space Agent Venom, but I can deal with Space Agent
Knight Venom was not
Eddie
cool.
Brock.
I don't like Space Knight, but I did like Agent Venom. I like the old Agent Venom.
Agent Venom was good stuff. I thought they kind of jettisoned that way too soon. I liked the idea of Flash Thompson as an Earth-faring hero. But maybe we'll get an interesting story about how he lost the symbiote. Maybe he's going to be trying to get it back is the thing. Maybe they're going to do a Carnage thing where just because the book is named blank doesn't mean they're the hero or the main character.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as long as it's not Space Venom, then we're fine.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't want Space Venom.
Space Knight Venom isn't stupid. I honestly feel like Space Knight Venom was a story written for somebody else, and somebody was like, throw Venom in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the story would be great if placed on a different hero. That's
Venom sells.
I think that's how it happened. But okay, so that brings us to the end of the Marvel Now list. All of this coming out in October. I'm sure all of our channels are going to be having a conniption about them when they come out.
Oh God,
yes.
So you'll be hearing all about this in the months leading up to it. We're way over time. If you stick around, Rob and I are going to play a round or two of Who's Your Daddy so Rob can record for his channel so you can hang out, watch me be Rob's baby. It's going to be interesting. But if you aren't going to
as you've always wanted.
But if you aren't going to stick around, then thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Benny the Comicstorian. That is Sal from Comic Pop. That is Rob from Comics Explained. And Rob Plays. And that is Joel from Cave to Joel. We're here every Tuesday talking about your favorite pop culture. Sometimes it's comic books. Sometimes it's not. We're also here on Thursdays talking about the latest comic books that came out. Fridays playing Dungeons & Dragons. And then Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, various groups of us are playing video games right here on this channel. Twitch.tv/eligible monster at about 4 p.m. Eastern on most days. Please, we appreciate all follows, subscriptions, donations. All of it goes to creating more content for you guys. I'm trying to close it out because I know Sal's like probably starving to death over there.
We all are. I mean,
well, no, it's only 6 for me. I gotta go cook dinner when we're done.
I was gonna say Benny with his fancy Colorado time.
So okay, we're gonna end this post recording. It's gonna get uploaded to Sal's channel as soon as I stop being lazy and upload it.
Yep.
And thank you guys for joining us on that. Follow us all on Twitter at Comicstorian, as Sal says what, at Comics Explained, and at Cape to Joel because he finally fixed it.